We have reviewed a lot of CyberPowerPCs over the years, but this one is my favorite design out of them all. And we're going to utilize our experience reviewing countless gaming PCs to help you decide if this specific build is right for you in this honest review of the CyberPowerPC Gamer Supreme SLC 5200 BSDF. This configuration that we have here for you comes with a new 9800X3D CPU and 5070 Ti GPU. I'm going to quickly take you through the unboxing and what's included, gaming and creator benchmarks, design and build quality, the internals, thermals, fan noise, overall ease of use, pricing breakdowns, and comparing its price to performance ratios against the competition, and my overall top likes and dislikes. If you decide against this PC after anything that I say in this video, just keep watching because I'm also going to be sharing with you some alternative PCs that I recommend for every budget. I'm going to include links down below for all the products that I mentioned, as well as tag directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. I guarantee that by the end of this video, you will know if this PC is right for you or not. But if you still have any questions after watching this entire video, just shoot me a comment, and if you're publicly subscribed, I guarantee a personal response. But first, we're going to rewind back into the past real quick and check out what came in the box. Included, as usual with CyberPowerPCs, we got this very basic RGB gaming keyboard that's not very fancy by any means, but still looks pretty cool in the dark. Same thing with the mouse, nothing special, but it is comfortable to use for extended gaming sessions. The design overall isn't bad either, especially considering it's free. Then inside this little bag here, it looks like they're bribing you with two $10 gift cards if you review them. They also give you a GPU power adapter, a quick start guide with info that's really only helpful for people that are brand new to PC gaming, this cool magnetic Wi-Fi antenna that you can just stick to any metal part of your PC, your super beefy power cable, and a GPU support bracket. Now, design-wise, as I mentioned earlier, huge fan. The first pre-built that I've tested with the wrap-around three-sided glass panel design. It kind of feels like a case within a case, and functionally, it's set up pretty efficiently as well. It's set up to where these bottom three intake fans pull in fresh, cool air from underneath the case and up and out through the back and top exhaust fans. I also really appreciate that they included a 360mm AIO for the CPU. I've seen much more expensive PCs with only a 240 at the top. The 32GB of RAM they included in here is a solid T-Force Delta at 6000 megahertz. I'm also really glad they went with a motherboard that includes a metal heatsink for the SSD, our main drive. When these things get too hot, it shortens their lifespan and also slows them down. This one's a Western Digital SN3000, which is a quality SSD. They also included a pretty good GPU in here as well, an MSI 5070 Ti Shadow, which by itself is over $800. Removing the GPU reveals an additional SSD slot if you need extra storage, but thankfully there is a slot underneath that you can use first without having to touch the GPU. You've also got two easily accessible PCIe slots underneath the GPU for any extra expansion cards that you might want to add. Then spinning around to the back, some pretty messy cable management, and in the bottom right, a non-modular Apevia 1000 watt power supply. That is the weak point of most CyberPower and iBuyPower PCs, less reputable power supply brands. If you push your PC really hard, this will most likely be the component that needs to be replaced after a few years. Not a huge deal though, as a quality one like this MSI Mag will run around $150. For the port section, I had ChatGPT analyze my typical script here, and it told me that it was boring to list out all the ports. So here's a quick animated graphic labeling them all. Overall, I'd say that I'm pretty pleased with the amount of high-speed USBs. Now for the software, there was actually no stock control apps included with this PC. And when I downloaded the Asus Armory Crate app that you would think would work seamlessly with any Asus motherboard, none of the RGB would sync with it. So I resorted to downloading Signal RGB, a program that never lets me down anymore. And thankfully, everything synced up seamlessly with that. On top of the fact that it has the most animation options that I've ever seen in an RGB control app. One issue that I ran into though was not being able to update the BIOS. But I haven't seen anybody else with that issue, so I'm gonna hope that it's just an isolated issue with my specific PC. Now, as far as the fan noise, you can see here in the charts that this is one of the quietest gaming PCs that we've ever tested. This is what they sounded like. That's pretty soft and quiet. Now, as far as the thermals, you can see in our thermal imaging time-lapse that as usual, from computer off to full-on gaming, that we do get some heat building up on the glass right next to the GPU, as well as on the radiator at the top of the PC. Luckily, that heat did efficiently escape out the back and top exhaust fans. These were our CPU temperatures for several different games at 1080p compared to some of our other recent PCs in similar price ranges. These are very cool temperatures. And as you can see in our overall chart, after averaging all of those games into a single number, you can see that it's one of the coolest that we've tested so far this year. Then jumping into 4K gaming, which tends to heat up the GPU more, here you can see that this GPU technically did get hotter than average, especially when you compare it to all of those other top tier PCs with GPUs that push a lot more power, which as you can imagine creates more heat. But at the same time, those more expensive PCs also come with better cooling capabilities. Nothing to worry about though, because looking at those temperatures game by game, none of them came even close to throttling limits. Now, finally, for the exciting part, performance and gaming benchmarks. Usually I start off with some creative benchmarks, but I'm just going to save you guys some time and let you know that this CPU is meant for gaming, not creative tasks. It can do it, yes. It's just that I'd get a different PC if you do a lot of editing, motion graphics work, or 3D modeling and animation. For 3D Mark, which is a great benchmark used to predict a computer's overall gameability, you can see here that it did rank pretty decent overall, but actual gaming benchmarks are probably what you guys care the most about though. These were the average gaming FPS and 1% lows that we got for several games at their highest graphic presets. Overall, very satisfying numbers except for Cyberpunk at 4K and those Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 1% lows at 4K. Then averaging all of those FPS numbers together, you can see where it ranks overall compared to other recent PCs this year. Pretty satisfying to see how high those 1080p numbers are, even compared to other PCs with more powerful 5080 GPUs.
Now let's go ahead and jump into some actual gameplay. So this right here is the Fortnite benchmark that I use for all of my computers. Fortnite as a game is constantly changing, so in order to compare apples to apples, I always use this never-changing benchmark first. But let's go ahead now and jump into some Battle Royale. These are all of the pretty much maxed out settings that I always use at 4K. Ooh, this guy. This guy. Coward. Give me the goods. Give me those goods. Oh, took fall damage from that. So we're down to about 72 FPS of maximum graphic presets. Don't worry, I'm going to use some low settings as well for everybody that plays on a lower quality monitor. Or people that just don't see the benefit of 4K. I honestly don't understand that. Oh, blue Deadeye. Give me that Deadeye. Alright, now I'm going to jump in. Let's do 4K at medium settings. 92 FPS. Okay, things are looking a lot smoother. Honestly, you don't really see that much of a difference in quality. Go ahead and steal a helicopter real quick. Oh, they didn't like that. That guy's a good builder. I'm gonna stay away from him. So 96 average FPS, that's not bad. Let's turn it back up to epic, but then turn on DLSS quality. That looks pretty sharp actually. Yeah, so 103 FPS, you don't really see hardly any difference at all jumping up to DLSS with quality mode setting. But for those of you that just want the most FPS possible, we're gonna go ahead and jump into 1080p. Wow, we're getting almost 300 FPS right now. That is smooth. Who's shooting? Who's shooting? That's what I thought. I don't think so. Quit hiding behind that tree. Just take your punishment.
Now for the most important part of this review, the price to performance ratios. Right now, at the time of this recording, this PC is going to cost you $2,350. This is a pretty decent deal for a PC with these specs, but you can see that at 1440p and 4K, the similar performing iBuyPower Slate 9 and AVGPC Whirlwind are technically a better bang for your buck, even though this CyberPowerPC outperformed them at 4K, 1440p, and especially 1080p. But despite those other two being a better value, I would still rather get this better performing and better designed CyberPowerPC. Now, if you're understandably at an entirely different price point, these are my recommendations for every budget. I'm going to include links down below for all the products that I mentioned, as well as tag directly on this video or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV. If $2,300 is too much, then I recommend you get this iBuyPower Slate 9 that I reviewed. This one is only $1,800 and only about an 11% drop in performance from this CyberPowerPC. And if you game at 1440p or 4K, it's nearly identical performance. If you need to be closer to $1,000, then I would would go with the Skytech Shadow that I recently reviewed with a 9600X CPU and 9060 XT GPU. You can see in the charts that it's not a good 4K gaming PC, but it is pretty decent at 1440p and 1080p. This PC is going to have similar performance to an Xbox Series X or a PS5. If you can actually afford more than the CyberPowerPC and step it up to around $3,000, then I would go with that CLX Set that I reviewed with a 9800X3D and 5080 GPU. The best value top tier PC that we've tested so far though, with the best price to performance ratio that's actually still available, is the Alienware Area 51 with a 5090. For much more options in the mid-range to high-end categories, click up here for my top 20 recommended gaming PCs of the year. Overall, my least favorite things about this PC are its choice of power supply, the difficulty controlling the RGB at first, and the fact that I was having issues updating the BIOS, which honestly a lot of pre-built owners never really do anyway. My favorite things about this PC though, its overall design, excellent gaming performance, and its super quiet fans. If you do decide to purchase this PC or any of the others that I mentioned, then please remember to use my affiliate links in the comments and description below, or tag directly on this video, or using a QR code if you're watching on a TV, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. And it's actually a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. Also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with all of my latest tech and gaming PCs. PC gaming is awesome, but trust me, please do not let it take over your life. What helps me mentally is getting outside, staying active, eating healthy, and spending more time with my family. Also, studies have shown that reading the Bible at least 4 times a week can massively improve your mental health, and I can attest to that. And if you are a little skeptical about the Bible, then check out the book or documentary, The Case for Christ.